I have refused a contract. Part of what I do is criminological research, and there are certain organizations that would be willing to fund research that would explore the impact of new technologies on policing, for example. And I was in a position where I was offered a contract, and when I looked at the contract, at the end, there was a provision that said anything you publish will have to be approved by us first. And so I said, well, if you want me to do it, that's gone. And they said, absolutely not. And I said, fine, see, still have a good working relationship with them. We just don't do research together. To me, it goes back to independence. So if we're going to if our job is to ask questions to create new knowledge, to use George Herbert Mead's words, so society can become visible to itself and we can hold ourselves to government, to democratic accountability, and create good policy together as a society. If we're going to do that, then I think that knowledge has to be developed without strings. We're back to the strings. So that independence, I think, is incredibly important. I talked to a young colleague of mine who had a terrible experience working with a very similar organization, entered the relationship with stars in her eyes, and it was going to work out really, really well, and did some fabulous research. And because she was working with this organization, got great access that many of us don't get to professionals working within the criminal justice system. And then when push came to shove, there was so much control over what she could do with the data that she was kind of shunted off the project, and they took the data and published it the way they wanted to. So it's also a practical issue. It's an ethical issue, but it's also a practical issue. I'm very territorial. It's my research. I need to be in a position that's unencumbered so I can maintain the ethical commitments that I've made to my research participants. That's what independence is about for me.